Hey, I'm Nancy Cavey, National ERISA and Individual Disability Attorney, and I want to welcome you to Winning Isn't Easy. Before we get started, I've got to give you a legal disclaimer. This podcast isn't legal advice, but nothing is going to prevent me from giving you an easy-to-understand overview of the disability insurance world, the games that disability carriers play, and what you need to know to get the disability benefits you deserve. So off we go. Are you a physician with a disability plan, policy, or claim? This episode is for you. We'll be covering what physicians need to know about their disability insurance coverage. And even if you aren't a physician, I think there are things that you can learn from this episode. I'm going to be talking about three topics. First, what every physician needs to know about long-term disability insurance and the three ways to purchase a disability insurance policy or plan. Two, what every physician needs to do in terms of making time to look at their disability insurance policy before it's too late. And three, the 7 most important terms in every disability insurance policy or plan that a physician must know. Let's take a break before we get started. Welcome back to Winning Isn't Easy, why every physician needs to make time to look at their disability insurance policy before it's too late. COVID-19 was a horrific reminder how the world can be turned upside down in a matter of weeks. Some of my physician friends learned a horrific lesson about their disability insurance and business interruption insurance. Not only do some of them have long-term complications of COVID-19, but their ability to work, to practice their occupation, has been impacted. Some can only work part-time, others have had to sell their practice, others have had to stop working altogether, and they're finding too late that they can't make it financially. What are the lessons learned too late and why you should be taking a proactive approach in reviewing your disability insurance policy? I'm sure that you haven't looked at your disability policy or plan since you bought them, and I'm sure you have no idea what coverage you purchased. And I know that it is way past time for a policy review. The first thing you should look at is your policy, and you need to read it cover to cover. Now, I know that you went to medical school and you're pretty smart, but you're not an attorney and you're not an insurance agent. And unfortunately, I don't think you have the skills to ultimately understand the policy. But let's talk about some basics. The basics that we want to start out with is, how much is your monthly benefit? Is there a reduction for or an offset for the receipt of Social Security benefits, pensions, practice buyouts, or equipment buyouts? Is there a reduction in your disability insurance benefits because you have other disability insurance policies or plans? How long do you have to be out of work? That's known as an elimination period before you can collect benefits. And can you maintain your lifestyle on what that total income is? And only you know that answer. But now that you know what your net monthly benefits are, the second question is, what is the occupation you insured? Now, I know that sounds like a silly question. Disability policies don't insure a job. They insure your inability to do the material and substantial duties of your occupation. Now, there are two crucial terms here, the term disability and the term occupation, as they are defined by your policy. Remember, there is no uniform definition. And I have cases with physicians where they may have 3, 4, 5 policies with all sorts of different definitions of disability and occupation. That can be a proof problem, can't it? So the first question that we need to answer in regard to this issue is, what's the policy definition of disability? And the second question is, what's the policy definition of occupation? Now, if you're a physician, and this episode is designed for physicians, the question is, did you insure your specialty, your board certified area of practice? And by the way, has your specialty changed? In other words, what is the nature of your practice? And what percentage of your practice are you doing certain duties or certain types of occupational duties as it may relate to the administration of your practice? Is there a dual occupation provision in the policy, and how is that defined? Do you have a dual occupation. And then, of course, one of the other things that is crucial is going to be that part of the disability definition that tells you whether or not you have what's called a residual disability policy or a total disability policy. If you have a residual disability policy, you may be able to collect benefits while you are working, but having a certain amount of financial loss. If you have a total disability, you have to be totally disabled. Many of my physician friends and clients don't want to stop work immediately. They want to sort of phase themselves out of practice. And that's an important consideration in taking a proactive approach if you become disabled and winding down your medical practice. Now, as I said, that's another consideration because you may want to work part-time and you might find out that your disability policy says you have to be totally disabled before you can be partially disabled. I know that's strange, but I've seen those policies. Others say, look, if you can't do your own occupation, but you could do another occupation, we'll pay you benefits. Or some of them may say, hey, you may not be able to do your own occupation, but as a physician, you've got skills that would be transferable to another field in medicine. You need to know that decision. So knowing the type of benefits you're eligible for can be, I think, crucial to effective financial planning and how you might be able to continue practice. Now, the fourth consideration is how long you're eligible for those benefits. Most policies will pay to retirement age, but many policies will have limits on how long they'll pay benefits for mental nervous conditions or subjective medical conditions like migraines or post-concussive syndrome or fibromyalgia. You might be disabled, but your policy may pay only 2 years of benefits, and then you're done, and you're really done. You want to know the answer to these questions so that you can begin to make changes in your disability coverage now, not tomorrow, not next month or next year, now. Remember, statistics show that 25% of Americans will become disabled at some point during their working lifetime. COVID-19 has shown us how fragile life is and how our income can be destroyed in a minute, regardless of how healthy we are or how much we exercise or what we eat or how smart we are. I think that it's time, much like you do with your patients, is to take a proactive approach to disability insurance planning, giving your family, giving yourself financial peace of mind and knowledge that you can maintain the lifestyle that you and your family deserve, I think is a gift beyond measure. Let's take a break.